Hi Stampers, Purple Lizard here. Today I'm stamping with Crystal at Creative Inkings. And her June host code is C3ARM9B and Z as in zoo. If you order $50 or more from her, she will send you a prize of a pack of opal rounds. And if you order $150 or more, you might want to sign up under her. Anyway, so today I wanted to talk to you about a stamp set that unfortunately is fluttering away in June. Floating and Fluttering will be retiring in June. It's so sad. You know I love butterflies. When I first saw this stamp set, I thought it would make an amazing background stamp, that you could make your own designer paper from it. This is all one stamp, which is kind of different for Stampin' Up. Usually they save that kind of thing for a full background stamp. But this is also a three-step stamp where you stamp this stamp inside of this butterfly, and this stamp inside of this butterfly, this stamp and this stamp inside of this butterfly, and then there's some for the leaves also. And so it's sort of a three-step stamp. The other thing I liked about this stamp set is this cute little border. There are no sentiments, but this border goes nicely around a lot of sentiments from previous stamp sets and stamp sets that are current right now also. It also has a fun little die, which the dies are 50% off right now on the clearance rack. So you should order the stamp set and the dies separately, not as a bundle, because the dies are 50% off right now. You get a die to cut out this border, and there's dies that cut out all the butterflies and the leaves from this stamp right here. And then there's, for some reason, I'm not sure why, but there's two dies that cut out this whole thing. And when it cuts it out, it stays together as one. See, like this. Let me put some behind it so you can see it good. Here we go. See, so you can cut out the butterflies individually with these dies, or you can cut out the whole thing as one with these dies, which there are two of. And you get the border die, and you get another butterfly die. This one right here, it does this. It cuts out the butterfly and it embosses a little too. Isn't that cute? I'm going to use that one in a card later tonight. So, let's make a card with this cute set. So, what I have here is basically a 5 by 3 1/4 piece of white paper. And since the stamps in this set are photopolymer, they stamp better if you use a cushiony surface. So I have a stamp pad here, but I've taped paper to the back of it, so when I'm going to overstamp, I'm not stamping on it. And I'm going to overstamp this piece of paper because I'm going to take this stamp, the background looking stamp, the big stamp, which I've kind of now stained it with some Stazon ink. But it still works just as good. It's just a little stain now. I'm going to ink it up with some black ink. And let's put this first one about here. I'm going to take and just randomly stamp this big stamp all over this page. Kind of make my own, like, my own designer paper. I think he fits in there pretty good. Right there. And let's try it again. So I do hate to see these butterflies fluttering away. I can always use butterflies. Let's put you right there. And it kind of fits together pretty easily, just, you know, turning it randomly. See, it just fits together easily. And hopefully it will leave just a little spot where I can show you how easy it is to fill in too. Let's see what I come up with. Let's put this one right in here. And then see how I've kind of ended up with just this little spot here? It's really easy to fill in that area too. Just pick any part of the stamp and just do the little edge of it. Boop. There you go. So I made my own designer paper with this stamp. So next, what I want to do is show you how easy it is also to stamp the colors inside of here. Now, I should wait a little bit, or you should wait a little bit and let this dry before you stamp all over it. I'm hoping it's going to be dry enough. So let's see. Let's start with this big butterfly. Let's make him, I've decided to make my butterflies. I'm going to make one of them Pumpkin Pie and Daffodil Delight. One of them Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. And one of them Cajun Craze and Calypso Coral. Let's make the biggest one Cajun Craze and Calypso Coral. So I'm going to stamp up this butterfly. That's this biggest one right here. Right here. And then they just fit right inside of the butterflies. These are their little wings. Ta-da! And so there's that part. Now it's on the, I don't know what you'd want to call it, the highlights. You need to pick a color that's going to stamp a lot darker. Hopefully, maybe I should have stamped off that Cajun Craze. We'll see. But you need to stamp a color that's going to be a lot darker or it won't show up. Let's see. Ta-da! You can see Cajun Craze. So that was Calypso Coral and Cajun Craze on the first one. And the next butterfly, we have to do some purple. Let's do this one. Let's do this one in purple. We're going to do the Gorgeous Grape and the Highland Heather. So we'll do the Highland Heather because it's lighter. We'll do it first. Here we go with it. It's pretty easy to line it up. And even if I don't stamp it perfectly, it's not really gonna show up or matter. See, I missed it a little bit and it won't even matter. So that was the big one, and now the highlighted one I'm gonna use Gorgeous Grape because it's a little darker than Highland Heather. So just line it up. I should be stamping on that mat. There you go. Ta-da! And the next one, let's do the Daffodil Delight and the Pumpkin Pie. Now, I tried to stamp Daffodil Delight and Mango Melody, and you just really couldn't see it. So with the daffodil, well, probably with any of the yellows, they won't work on top of each other. You'll have to do a yellow and orange. So we're doing Daffodil Delight and Pumpkin Pie. And this one seems like it should do the outside of the wing, but it does the inside of the wing, like this. Oops, like that. I guess you can see that. So there's those. Let me close a few of these inks. I have 6 inks open right now, and it's a little scary. You know how that is. I could ruin a card any minute. So for the border stamp, not sure what else you would want to call it. Set this aside too. For this border stamp, I wanted to cut it out with a die cut. And there's a couple of different ways to do it. And if I was just gonna try it, not on camera, I would just do it freehand. But on camera, it's probably not going to turn out right. So I'm going to use the Stamparatus for this part. Basically what I did was, I want to stamp this border stamp on this piece of Calypso Coral. But I want it to be stamped on there really centered nicely. So I've already cut it out of my piece of paper. In order to try and get this as close as possible, this is my method of doing it. I cut it out and I put the paper back into the Stamparatus like this. And then I stick the stamp in the middle as best as I can. You pick it up, and then I take this piece and put it back in here. And most of the time, it works right. It gets it right in the middle. Let's see how it does. I'm going to ink this up with black and stick it in there. Stamp it on there. Ta-da! And it did really good. It usually works. Alright, so also with this a stamp like this, if you're not going to use this Stamparatus, I also noticed that if you're going to stick it on a block, that if you just try and stick it on there, it goes kind of crooked. You should definitely lay it down and then pick it up with the stamp, if that's how you're going to do this one. Okay, done with the Stamparatus. So I want to stamp a word on here. Let's see, I think I should use, I want to use Cajun Craze for the color. And the word I'm going to use comes from another stamp set that's being retired right now, Forever and Always. This word, love. I love this word, and I love all the sentiments from this. I like how big and bold they are, and the flower's really pretty too. This is a good set. And the sentiment, or the dies are nice too. It just has some, it cuts out the word always and love with the background border, and it has some, I don't know what you want to call it, strips that cut the longer sayings out. Some little flowers, and then it cuts out the flowers. Another good set being retired. So I'm going to use the word love from that set. I'm going to stamp it on here. Try to get it up high up here, because then I want to stamp the word you down here. Right there. I might stamp you first, going to, because I want you. I'm getting it up in black right now to stamp right here. And then love can fit around it. So there's you. And here's Cajun Craze on the love. Oh yeah, that'll fit good. Right there. Again, without the mat. Oh, that came out good. And I want to take, sorry, I don't have them ready, some dimensionals and put them on this part. I think these dimensionals are from a paper pumpkin. That's the great thing about paper pumpkins, is that they always have extra stuff. Okay. And this was our thing that we originally stamped and colored. And then this was the piece that I cut this from. And I'm going to glue it on. My trusty glue. I love this glue. And Stampin' Up! Has it at the best price, really. There's that. And I have a card base, just a white card base. 4.5 or 5.5 by 4 1/4. Fold it good. And I'm going to put it on here with my own personal made designer series paper. Put some glue all over it. I like to try to cut that out, whatever you want to call that, that tag. I like to try to cut it out kind of where I'm going to stick it. It really doesn't usually seem to show through, but I figure I get my money's worth out of my paper that way. So there's that. Let's pick these guys off. There's lots of sentiments that could go inside of this. It's so nice and big. And you could use it with or without the border. I just think it makes it nice. Then I don't feel like I have to put something behind it to set it, you know, set it off apart some. Oh, I like that. It needs some bling. Let's see, what do we have here? We have gems, of course. Let's see. Oh, we need to put some rhinestones on it. It needs rhinestones for the butterflies. Should I just put one for their little head or for their body? I like it for their body sometimes. Maybe 3 for that one and 1 for these. Oops. Stay. Stay. And should I put it here or here? There. Okay, I think I like all those. Here. I like to just sort of get them about where I want them. Not sure there's any sticky on the back of that one. There might be. I like to get them about where I want them, and then I press them down with something. And then they usually stay nice. Stay nicely. Don't come off. I never have a problem with their Stampin' Up's gems coming off, so there you go. It's pretty. So that's one card with floating and fluttering. I have another card I'd like to show you really quickly. Another quick card. How many? I'm 22 minutes in, but I usually like to make long videos. This one's going to go really fast because I already have most of it done. So I already stamped that big stamp on some vellum. And I stamped it with Stazon. So of course I had to let it dry for a little while. And now I'm going to color on it. I'm going to use the new In Colors. This color is Fresh Freesia. And so I stamped it on the other side, and I'm going to color it on this back side of this. And that way I really kind of don't even have to be really accurate about it or anything. Just kind of coloring it in randomly, quickly. Fresh Freesia, and this new color is called Pale Papaya. It's sort of a peachy color. I guess you could call it peachy color. I like it, whatever it is. And I already cut out this little frame too. I used why can't I think of it? Stitch rectangle dies. And I made my own little frame because I have a hard time trying to get vellum to stick and not show the glue or the adhesive on the other side. So I made a frame so I can hide all of this adhesive. I'm gonna use soft succulent on these butterflies too. This is a pretty color. It's a little bit darker than the mint macaron, It's, yeah, I would say a dark mint macaron. It's not the same as the Just Jade. It's different than that. I'm going to go ahead and color these two. I said I wasn't going to take a long time coloring this. You really don't have to. I'm going to use this one. It is the Evening Evergreen. This is a nice dark green color. We needed a nice dark green color. I can see myself using a lot of this at Christmas. Definitely. It's Evening Evergreen. And the Polished Pink. Really liked the Polished Pink too. It sort of reminds me of the Rococo Rose, only darker. And so when you're coloring with these Stampin' Write markers on vellum, if you keep going over it, it'll get darker and darker. I'll show you on this purple one real quick too. So see how it's kind of light, and then if I go over it again, it sort of gets darker. I don't know if you can see that or not. But so if you want it to get darker, you can just put a couple coats on it. But be careful how much work you do on vellum, because it will start to peel up if you're not careful. So let's put some purple in this one too. This butterfly needs purple. Just does. And I think the colors, these markers, will take a little minute to dry. A couple of them are still, I can feel it, it's still wet on the vellum too. So be careful not to smear it as you're working around on it. And then, oh, one more spot I forgot. There's this tiniest little spot right here. And then, ta-da! Isn't it pretty? I like it. So, I'm just going to take, I'll just use this glue, because anything should work since I'm going to hide it. I'm going to string it along here on the back, and I have a card base here made of the fresh Freesia. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when I fold it. I think it should be over just a little bit more. All right. So see, when this is all glued down, you can see the glue. So this is my cure for seeing the glue. I took 2 of the stitched rectangle dies, and made my own little frame with them. And then I can hide the glue behind this little frame I made. There we go. And this was that little butterfly, the other little die butterfly that was in here. I'm going to bend it a little and put some glue on it. Stick it right here in the corner. That's cute. And of course, everything needs bling. Let's do something different with this one. Let's use a big gem and a medium-sized gem. Ooh, I need one on him, though. Yeah, that's how it's going to go. And then one on him. Look good? Nope, needs more. So I like to make sure that I do my bling in odd numbers, of course. So there we go. I'm a little happier with that. Yeah, I like that. And again, I just sort of push it down with whatever you have, and it makes it stay nicely. Oh, that's cute. And you could easily put some Wink of Stella on this guy right here and dress him up some, or even I thought about using one of the brushes, the blender brushes, to put some color on him. He's really kind of cute on his own though. And so there you have it. There's my 2 cards with Floating and Fluttering, which is going away soon. Thanks for watching. Have a great evening. Bye. Make sure you like my video.